Hello and welcome back to chapter 6, lecture number 21. So we applied a branch on the wall. It's pretty random, could be any shape, but I ended up with this one. And I like to add the ivy. And one thing to note, you have seen that I removed the leaves. And that's because it's very hard to create something nice out of the default planes that were attached on the leaf. So very quickly, I'd like to show you what I'm trying to say. So let's just say we want to have ivy there and add new ivy. So you can see this. These, let's grab these. So what you can do is use this. There's a material. You can apply a material and add a transparent leaf. My problem is that because this looks so flat, the final result is not satisfying. So I tried to work with it many times, but then I discovered a better way. In fact, the same way we did with the trees. So we just fill the branch with a weight layer, and then we apply a particle system, and that works smooth. So that's why I deleted it. So we can delete this one and that one, and focusing on the big one, and we go for particle system. So go for new one, call this ivy, and ivy. Yes, and let's go for hair, advance. I want to have around 5,000 of branches. Look at that, beautiful. We're finished. I go to source, make this look random. Yeah, and we go for render, and let's check. There is right now a cube. That's the wall, and ivy curve inside of the ivy. So I'd like to drag this out of, so we only have the ivy leaf, or we can apply it on the particle system. So there we go. There is our leaf, but it's looking bad. So click on rotation, and I want to change the orientation axis to, let's go for object Z. I want to face this downwards. Let's try to rotate it a little bit. So this is in fact how ivy behaves, looking downwards, but it looks totally fake. Now let's add some randomizing on it. Something like this. That's a great start. And they all have the same size, so that's very easy to fix with a texture. I'm always using this Voronoi texture. I mean, we know how it works. It looks smooth. It works smooth. So why go for alternatives variation? And we go for the texture. And we do not have to pick displacement, or this is just default. And Voronoi, bang, size of 0.1. And the influence should be applied on the to hair length. And I want to have to 0.8. Yeah, sort of. Maybe we're going back to change that. But yeah, I can see small leaves and big ones, exactly what we need. So we go back to the settings for the particle and maybe make this a little bit smaller. Yes. So we have ivy right there. It's naturally spread all over the wall. Let's go for a render. Yeah. Beautiful. So we have nice reflections. And I think we can increase. Let's go for back to the shading. Hey, we need to apply material. I just forgot to apply the material. Wow. Okay. It's running late, I think. So let's grab the ivy leaf. And we have to set it. So duplicate it. We want to have the roughness. I think something went wrong. Maybe because I created this multiple times. But anyway, we add roughness. It's no problem to do this again. Color, vector, bump, and you want, oops, focus on it. This is the roughness. You want to have the bump texture. Bring this in the heat and strength of 0.1. I put this normal in the normal. and with sRGB to non-color data. And let's drag this one, go to add shader, mix shader, and add shader translucency. Yeah, putting it right there. And I want to duplicate it and go for Ivy. There you go. Pretty good. Looks wonderful. So now you only have to change that one, the value of the translucency 2.2, and that should be applied now on the particle. Solid, render it again. That's great. We also need a texture for the branch. Let's go for new. I just want to use a brown color. Yeah, that will fix it. And you can now take a look if you want to have the specularity to be just smoothly. Okay, this is too diffused. Something between this will definitely fix it. So you have beautiful ivy on your wall. It's nice reflecting, and if we zoom in, let's take a close look. It has a nice rough surface with nice reflections. And this is how we deal with the ivy. So if you go on top, you can see it's if you want to have more randomness, you go to the particle system, just click on it and go to the rotation. You should change the randomizer a little bit more. But yeah, so the thing I like is now where we have small leaves right there and the bigger ones on top. Yeah, one thing that is calling my attention is that it's too green. So I like to left click on the leaf and make some color variation. So I want to have some brown leaves and green. That's in real life, you have that as well. So we duplicate the diffuse, add color, UE acceleration. So we're putting this one into the color, and I want to have a UE of 0.35, maybe 0.4, but that will work out. Add color mix, and we put this together. So right now you have a perfect mix, and you want to have randomness. And I like to use an input object info. Yes, and add color UE acceleration, and we put the random in the UE, in the saturation, and into the value, and then you put a color into the factor, and that should affect the ivy. So if I just disable this one and make this fully purple, you can see there are the purple areas are the saturated ones. So yeah, not bad. And you can decide if you want to have 0.3, you have more brownish, or rather choose for 0.4. Is that the default value? I think you should definitely go for 0.3. Yeah. All right, so this is how the ivy works. And the only thing you need to do now is you have this ivy particle system. So you can append this, and you can append the default leaf. The only thing you need to do is when you have a structure is letting grow some ivy branches, and you append the particle system, and that's pretty much it. And you have this beautiful result. All right, I hope you liked it. And in the next lecture, we start working on a new tree. So stay tuned, and let's continue. Bye-bye.